Saatnya berpetualangan, datang ke Taman Pelangi. Bersama teman-teman semua, yuk kita saling membantu. Aku punya tas berlari dengan si Joko. Bergegaslah ayo berpetualang. Saatnya rainbow.
Free nutritious meals, a good intention, but is it the right solution? Every child deserves good food. Every child deserves a chance to grow healthy and smart. I think we can all agree on that. That is a goal we all share. But today, I want to talk about free nutritious meal program, which we call MBG or Makan Bergizi Gratis.
MBG,
keracunan MBG,
korban keracunan MBG.
MBG bermanfaat atau tidak?
1.171 siswa menjadi korban keracunan
luar
MBG
biasa.
di Kabupaten
Sementara
Bandung
itu, pasca
Barat.
570 pelajar keracunan MBG Dapur SPPG di Kadungora, Garut, Jawa Barat
luput
juga
dari
ditutup
masalah.
sementara.
Di Jombang, Jawa Timur,
Penyebab
dan juga di Tangerang Selatan, Banten, MBG yang diterima dinilai tidak layak konsumsi, bahkan berlendir dan diduga basi.
This program has big goals and I respect those goals. However, I have serious questions about whether this is really the best way to spend our nation's money. I believe that good intentions are not enough. We need smart solutions. And today, I will give you 3 reasons why I think the MBG program, as it is right now, may cause more problems than it solves. First reason, the cost is too heavy. My first concern is about money, national budget. The MBG program is estimated to cost around 71 trillion rupiah per year. That is an enormous amount of money, and it comes from the state budget, which means it comes from the taxes that Indonesian people pay every day. Indonesia still has many urgent needs. We need better hospital, we need better roads in remote areas, we need better school and better teachers. We need clean water for communities that still don't have it. The questions I want to ask is, if we have 71 trillion rupiah, is feeding children at school really the best use of that money? Or could that some money create a bigger, longer lasting impact somewhere else? I am not saying children should go hungry. I'm saying we must think carefully about how we use our limited budget, because the needs of these nations are many. The second reason, quality and safety cannot be guaranteed. My second concern is about the food quality and safety. When a program runs at a very large scale, millions of meals every single day across thousands of schools in hundreds of cities, it becomes very, very hard to control quality. We have already seen reports of students getting sick after eating meals from this program. Food that was not clean, meals that did not meet nutrition standards. These are not small problems. These are signs of a system that is moving too fast without enough preparations. Think about it this way. When a mother cooks food at home for their child, she knows exactly what ingredients she uses. She cooks with love and care. But when food is prepared in bulk for thousands of children at once, that personal care is nearly impossible to maintain. A meal that makes children sick is not a nutritious meal. It is a danger, and we cannot guarantee the safety and quality of the food. Then we should ask, are we really helping these children, or are we putting them at risk? The third reason, It doesn't fix the root of problem. My third and most important concern is this. The MBG program treats the symptom but not the disease. Why are the children hungry? Why are families unable to provide proper nutrition for their kids? The answer is poverty. The real problem is that many Indonesian families simply don't have enough income to live well. Giving free meals at school every day doesn't change this reality. When children go home in the afternoon, their family situation is still the same. There is still not enough money. There is still poverty. Nothing has changed at the root. Instead of spending trillions on daily meals, why not invest that money in creating more jobs? Why not improve the income of poor families directly? Why not invest in agricultural programs so that farmers can grow more food and earn more money? If we fix the poverty problems, families can feed their own child with love, fiery theme, and with food that their own culture and tradition values. That is a solution that lasts forever. A free meals at school only lasts until the bell rings. On the other side, I understand why many people support this program. They say it helps children focus. They say it fights stunting. They say it supports local farmers. And I don't deny that these are real benefits. But I believe we can achieve the same goals or even better goals with smarter, more targeted solutions. For example, we could give food voucher or cash assistance directly to families who truly need it. We could improve school canteens with better nutrition standards. We could focus the program only on the areas with highest rate of stunting and poverty. The goals should be the same, but the methods should be smarter, more efficient, and more sustainable. Let me close with this thought. The MBG program comes from a good heart. President Prabowo wants every child to be healthy and ready to learn. That is a beautiful dream, and I respect that deeply. But in a country with so many complex problems, we cannot afford to spend our budget on programs that are too risky, too expensive, and too temporary. We need solutions that are smart, sustainable, and truly effective. Our children deserve the best, and the best means not just giving them a meal for one day, but building a system where their families can provide for them every single day for the rest of their lives. Let's dream big, but let's also think smart. Thank you. Have you ever attended a class from your bedroom, still in your pajamas? If you have, then you already know what online learning feels like. Over the past few years, online learning has gone from something unusual to something that millions of students do every single day. It all exploded during the COVID-19 pandemic, when schools around the world had to shut down and everyone like teachers, students, even parents had to figure out how to make education work from home. The experience changed how we think about school forever. So what exactly is online learning? Simply put, it is any kind of education that happens over the internet. Instead of sitting in a classroom, students watch video lessons, join live virtual classes, read digital materials, and submit assignments through platforms like Google Classroom, Zoom, or Microsoft Teams. Some students learn completely online, while others mix online and in-person classes together. A setup known as hybrid or blended learning. Online learning is not all good or all bad. It is actually a mix of both. On one hand, it gives students more freedom and opens up a world of learning opportunities. On the other hand, it comes with real challenges that can get in the way of learning. This presentation will look at both sides honestly, exploring the positive effects and the negative effects of online learning on students. First, the positive effects of online learning. The first effect is students can learn on their own schedule. One of the biggest benefits of online learning is flexibility. Students can study at times that work best for them and learn at their own speed. If they don't understand a lesson, they can watch the video again and review the materials until they understand it better. This can help students learn more easily and feel more comfortable while studying. And the second reason, they can easy access to learning resources. Online learning gives students access to many learning resources such as videos, articles, podcasts, electronic books, and online courses. These resources help students learn in different ways and understand lessons more easily. The third effect is building real-life skills along the way. Online learning helps students improve digital skills such as using technology, searching for information online, and communication through digital platforms. It also helps students become more independent because they need to manage their time, stay organized, and finish their works responsibly. So let's move to the negative effects of online learning. The first effect, feeling lonely and disconnected. One disadvantage of online learning is the lack of face-to-face interaction. Students may feel lonely when they spend most of their time studying by themselves. This can lower their motivation, make learning less enjoyable, and reduce their participation in class. And the second effect is not everyone gets a fair shot. Online learning depends on technology and internet access. Unfortunately, not all students have good device or a stable internet connection. This can create unequal learning opportunities and cause some students to struggle more than others. And the third effects, distractions, laziness, and cheating. Studying from home can be challenging because there are many distractions such as phones, social medias, and television. Some students also find it hard to manage their time and stay focused. In addition, online tests may make cheating easier, which can reduce the quality and fairness of education. So, is online learning good or bad? The answer is both. It offers flexibility, access to useful learning resources, and opportunities to develop important digital skills. However, it also brings challenges such as loneliness, unequal access to technology, and distractions. The truth is that online learning works best when combined with traditional classroom learning. By balancing technology with face-to-face interaction providing equal access to digital resources, school can create a better learning experience for all students. Online learning is here to stay. The question is not whether we use it, but how we use it wisely. With the right support and approach, online learning can continue to be a powerful tool to improving education. Maybe that's all from me. Thank you.